First and foremost, before we get started, I like to give all praises and honor and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem, Rekat Kodash, and the Bonsel's great millstone, while learnt his truth. And also to those elect that is scattered abroad, I like to say, Shalom, and come back here today with another great, powerful lesson to the spirit and power of Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai. So the title of today's lesson is, they have laid snares privately. So I like to say, Shalom to all our listeners. Learn. Hope this will help you today and guide you back in the path of righteousness and back to your true power, which in fact is Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai. So before we start today's lesson, I have a quick news article here by CBS 4 News. And it reads, it said, Louisiana residents will be able to carry concealed gun without training or permits under committee passed bill. Let's get a little bit more. It says here, Baton Rouge, Louisiana. It said Louisiana lawmakers voted to join 27 other states that allow citizens to carry a concealed handgun without permits or training as a deterrent to rising crime. The vote came in committee on a hectic day of legislative action that passed in a flurry of anti-crime bills urged by the newly elected Republican governor, Jeff Landry, who has vowed to take a tough anti-crime stance. Let's scroll down a little bit here. There's something else I want to get out of here before we shut it down. We're not going to read the whole entire article, but right here where it says Senate Bill number 1, which was approved 6-1 on Tuesday, would allow anyone in Louisiana over the age of 18 to carry a concealed handgun without a permit as long as they are not prohibited by law from owning a firearm. Senate Regina Barrows, Democrat Baton Rouge, voted no. But one thing what we constantly seeing is that we seeing that what was going on with this TikTok. They had this TikTok bill, talking about it, it had passed in the House, or TikTok is getting ready to be banned. But while you're looking this way, a distraction, they're constantly bringing these unrighteous decrees into play, whereby it's going to target the people of color, which in fact is the Negroes, the Latinos, the Native Indian. I'm talking to you. So we know that Jacob's trouble is very close at hand, and also this order out of chaos. So we already talking about, you can be as young as 18, without a permit, carry a gun, a concealed weapon. So we already knowing what this is going to cause more increased violence, violence across America. This is what they want, and we already know that once this starts, it's going to be sedition among men. They already have these migrants in places all across America. So the stage is set. All things are ready. Blood touching blood. That means it's going to be violence in every place, everywhere you look, city upon city. It's going to be kill or be kill. It's going to be a lawless time. So they already knowing that once this start, they're going to have, this going to give the police a reason to excommunicate you, to unalive you. So it's already right now, they say, let's put a gun in their hand. So that's what they want. They want this order out of chaos. They want to keep this confusion, this disorder going. So we already knowing that things are getting ready to escalate. So we already know this is in place in Louisiana, also in other, I think it's said 27 other states that's also had this bill. So we already know it. And also I did a video, I think the other day, about Pittsburgh, whereby they will not answer certain 911 calls. So we already know they would not regard a king or prince in the course of their actions just standing their power. So we already know that, hey man, the sword and there's destruction drawing nearer and nearer. We seeing it happening right before our eyes. The love of men is constantly waxing cold and cold. We seeing that the Lord's getting ready to bring forth this judgment. We already know that the body count is getting ready to be great. So the title of today's lesson, once again, is they have laid snares privately. So let's get a quick precept before we start today's lesson. Let's go here to 2 Corinthians chapter 2 and verse 11 said, lest Satan should get an advantage of us, For we are not ignorant of his devices. So, he's trying to get that advantage, but we're not ignorant of his device because he's making what Esau bearing bad. And who is the physical counterpart of Satan? That is the so-called white man, the devil that the Bible speaks. And what is his device? His what agenda, his plan, his plot, his scheme. These unrighteous decrees, these mischievous devices he's constantly trying to put into play, telling you that it's about rising crime, but it's going to be overflow of crime. They already knowing what this is getting ready to call. You know what I'm saying? Kill or be killed. Blood touching blood. We already know that it's going to be increased violence in the land. Many shall be taken in a great number. And about the device, he want that new world order. He want Total control. We already know we coming upon this digital society. We seeing they constantly putting these things in place. Talking about this TikTok bill. Telling you about all these different mandates, these laws they'll get ready, constantly putting in place, executive orders. These things are coming at a fast pace. Also, they talking about this increase measles and also disease X. So a lot of things are happening, and the prophets have been warning you left and right. In that day, they shall know that a prophet was among them. So let's read this again. It says 2 Corinthians, chapter 2 and verse 11 says, lest Satan, which in fact the physical counterpart of Satan is what the modern day so-called white man, the devil that the Bible speaking, should get an advantage of us. For we're not ignorant of his devices. So he's trying to get that advantage because he framed his mischief with a law. We're going to get all those scriptures too. So we seeing that he constantly working it, devising their plan, because what the powers in their hand. When you go to Job chapter 9 and verse 24, that the earth was given into the hands of the wicked only for a short season. We knowing that he's getting ready to come down with great wrath because he knowing that his time is very short. So now, we'll start today's video, and after the videos, we'll start the lesson, and I hope that you will get edified.
How the measure passed as lawmakers wrap up work at their special session on crime.
The concealed carry bill passed over the strong objections of members of the New Orleans legislative delegation. They fear permitless carry could lead to an uptick in gun violence. But Louisiana will now join nearly 30 other states that allow it. Anyone 18 and older who is not currently prohibited from carrying a gun will soon be able to walk down Canal Street and just about everywhere else in Louisiana with a concealed handgun without a permit, training, or background check. New Orleans area lawmakers expressed concern that the new law would lead to an increase in shootings and murders.
And are you worried that fistfights may turn into gunfights?
Has there been any thought process to the culture that we're going to recreate?
The final vote was 75-4.
Hey, do y'all see what law just passed in Louisiana? Starting July 4th, these little niggas, 18 and up, get to tote that blicky without no permit, no proper training, none of that. Get to have it on them. And you know what this is? The setup for the black community, man. They stay setting us up. Back when they dropped that pike off in the 80s in the community. Now they setting you up with these guns, with this firepower. This firepower. They ain't gonna do nothing but increase the deaths of black young men in the hood. Also gonna get a police excuse to kill more black men because they got the blicky on them. Oh, he had a gun on him. I thought he was pulling it. Oh, Lord. And it's going to also make them some of the most money they ever made because the prisons are going to fill up to the top. They're going to have to start making mega mention prisons to house all these niggas. That shit crazy as hell, man. It's wicked out here. Why in the hell you going to give a young nigga 18 years old with blicky with no proper training, instructions, no permit? Make it make sense. These niggas already toting blickies at 15, 16, 17. And when they hear that news, they get a whole one and get stopped by the law and be good. Oh, man, that's crazy as hell. Let me know what y'all think about this, man. Follow for more. We go.
It's going to be hell as governor. Now, let me show y'all. New sheriff in town, Jeff Landry, and his criminal justice policies. Look at this. Longer sentences, more executions, and harsher penalties for juveniles. That's how he's starting off. Y'all ready for this one? A proposal that Representative Debbie Villo from Kenner, a former prosecutor, has submitted would effectively eliminate parole in Louisiana. Y'all don't like to vote, though. Whoa, now what's happening with y'all? Like, check this out. Here we go again. If it ain't one thing, it's another. They're trying to turn this bitch into the Wild Wild West. If you live in Louisiana, you might want to pay attention to your new laws that's being presented. Right now, an 18-year-old can purchase a concealed hand weapon. I'm going to say that again. An 18-year-old can purchase a concealed hand weapon at the age of 18. Now, they know out of all this shit that's going on around this country, schools, Six Flags, what is it? NFL parades, house parties, clubs that these youngsters out there, you know what I'm saying, doing. You're going to pass bills like that. And everybody know the Louisiana prison system ain't about shit, and they try to get free labor and they work you like slaves in them. So I'm going to tell you something. If you have a child and he or she look like she's going down the wrong path, you might want to send her to a relative or send him to a relative out of state and see if they can get control of him, or y'all might want to move out of that state. Because if you let your kids continue to go down them paths and start purchasing these weapons, them laws are going to catch them and they're going to put their ass up under the prison, and then you're going to be without a son or a fucking daughter for many, 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 many years. See, they putting this shit in our face, man. They turning this motherfucking country upside down, man. They passing all kind of bullshit, and ain't nobody paying attention because not everybody trying to work. Everybody trying to put food on the table. Everybody trying to make ends meet and try to pay attention to the other bullshit that's going on in the world. But right up under your nose, they passing little bills to get your kids. Y'all better pay attention to what's going on out there because they trying to spin us. Man, that's a goddamn shame what Louisiana doing. And there's a lot of other states doing that shit too. They know damn well them kids' mind ain't developed enough to be walking around with no damn concealed hand weapons. They can't even buy tobacco or buy alcohol at the store. But they can go purchase a weapon? Oh, Lord. Man, y'all pay attention out there, man. Y'all step out there and get it out the mud.
So we seeing that, while you're sleeping, the devil is constantly getting busy. Instead of trying to solve the problem, they're constantly putting the problem in their hand. What? Concealed weapon, you know what I'm saying? More mass shooting, more school shooting, more violence. That's what they want. Order out of chaos. This is the land of confusion. The Lord is getting ready to return. Yahweh, Ba'ashim, Yahushua, and what? Set everything back into order. I'm telling you, man, we cannot wait, man. We are sick and tired of this nightmare. We ready to get out of this place. So let's start the daily lesson. Salakia, just in the spirit. Salakia. Psalm chapter 94. So let's start here. Just random scriptures through the spirit. Psalm chapter 94. And we'll start up at verse 20. We'll start the daily lesson out here in Psalm 94, and we'll start up at verse 20. And it reads, says, shall the throne of iniquity have fellowship with thee, which framest mischief by a law? So that's exactly what they're doing, the throne of iniquity. Who is the throne of iniquity? That's Esau, Edom, the devil that the Bible speaks, and they're constantly framing what? Mischief by law. Their agenda, their plot, their plan, their scheme. So that law, that unrighteous decree that they have prescribed or authorized. When you go to what? Isaiah chapter 10, verses 1 through 2. So that we seeing it right now, that, they're constantly trying to take away your right by, one thing about it, that they're giving you the right to kill or to delete others. That's basically what this is all about. You know what I'm saying? They trying to, they want this civil unrest, this civil war. You already seen what is coming out. And also what? The purge, so it's getting ready to come. But the Lord is the one that's going to bring it forth. The Lord is in perfect control. So when the purge start, when this great time of trouble start, the Lord started it. Not the so-called white man. He's only been used from what? The left-hand side. So let's read this again. Psalm chapter 94 and verse 20 said, shall the throne of iniquity have fellowship with thee, which framest mischief by a law? You see, they put this gun law in place right here, which in fact is ridiculous. Putting a gun in a child's hand. So you already know what's getting ready to happen. It's finna be a lawless time. Verse 21, they gathered themselves together against the souls of the righteous and condemn the innocent blood. And I bet they gather themselves against the righteous. Who is the righteous? The elect, the true believers of Yahweh. By Hashem Yahushua, that innocent blood. You know what I'm saying? They constantly, you know what I'm saying? Blood touching blood. Also, you know, because thou hast not hated blood, blood shall pursue thee. So they in for a rude awakening. You know, what was done to us is getting ready to be done to them. So we seeing that they constantly putting these snares, these traps in place, these plots, these plans. A lot of people going to fall for it, and you will be totally destroyed. It already know it in Louisiana. This state prison in Louisiana, Angola, they got it's more so-called black people, Latinos, and Native Indians in this prison system than any other prison system in the world. That's what they believe in, locking you up and throwing away the key. And also they love to delete you. So hey man, we're here. We're seeing it happening right before our eyes. Verse 22 said, but the Lord is my defense and my power. Say, is the rock of my refuge. Verse 23 said, and he shall bring upon them their own iniquity, and shall cut them off in their own wickedness. Yea, the Lord, our power, shall cut them off. We cannot wait. That's why the Lord said, wait on me until I rise up against the praise. Zephaniah chapter 3. So one thing about it, hey man, we seeing that the Lord is getting ready to cut this man off. Even though we seeing that he's getting ready to try to fill his belly with that agenda, that plan, that plot, we already know total control. We know that this digital society is coming to play. Also, we know that this MOTB, that grain of rice. So these things are fast approaching. It's time to watch, pray, and be sober, because these times are right upon us. They're happening to us right now, real time. We're living in the end time, real time. So now, let's go here to Psalm chapter 64. Let's go here, Psalm chapter 64. And we'll start up at verse 2. Psalm chapter 64 and verse 2. And it reads, hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked, from the insurrection of the workers of iniquity. We already know who that is. You know what I'm saying? Esau, Edom, the devil that the Bible speaks of. You know, we want the Lord to hide us. How will he hide us? With his wisdom, his knowledge, his understanding. Wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of time. Also, when you go to Proverbs chapter 18 and 10, they say that the name of the Lord shall be a strong tower, and the righteous run into it and is safe. That's what we want to do, the Lord to do, is hide us, deliver us, Lord. You know, and the Lord's getting ready to deliver us with great glory and great power. So all we must do is constantly trust and believe in Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua. Verse 3 said, who wet their tongues like a sword and bend their bow to shoot their arrows, say even bitter words. Verse 4 said, that they may shoot in secret at the perfect. Suddenly do they shoot at him and fear not. So it's going to come, you know, all of a sudden, you know, when this time of trouble start, you know, a lot of people right now relaxing in their leaves, but one thing about it, they're going to get caught up. You know, that's why it says in Ecclesiasticus, Sirach chapter 5, and I think around verse 7, it say, you know, putting out off from day to day, because, hey, man, it's suddenly the wrath of the Lord shall come upon you. We're seeing it happening right before our eyes, coming at a fast pace. The Lord's getting ready to execute judgment. Verse 5, it said, they encourage themselves in a evil matter. They commune and land snares privately. They say, who shall see them? Well, who see them? The Lord see you. And also the prophets, the men of the Lord. Amen. We constantly seeing you each and every day. The Lord is making him bearer and bearer. You know what I'm saying? So we seeing all these things are happening. And also the Lord is removing what the covering cast. All the lies and the deception is coming out. We know exactly what this red devil is trying to do. We seeing it happening right before our eyes. So they are in privately, you know what I'm saying, laying snares, constantly putting forth all these unrighteous decrees, all these different executive orders, constantly trying to devise that plan for total control. And also, to wipe out, and what they say, I think they said about 2 or 3 point something billion people, but they're in for a rude awakening. Verse 6 said, they search out iniquity. They accomplish a diligent search, both of the inward thoughts in every one of them. And the heart is deep. So, hey, man, they go very deep with this wickedness. And one thing about it, the Lord is getting ready to bring it forth. The Lord is getting ready to cut them off, man. We seeing it happening right before our eyes. This man is at his demise. Verse 7, it said, for the Almighty shall shoot at them with an arrow. Suddenly shall they be wounded. Verse 8, so they shall make their own tongue to fall upon themselves. All they that see them shall flee away. Verse 9 said, and all the men shall fear and shall declare the works of the Almighty, Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushua, for they shall wisely consider of his doing. Verse 10, the righteous shall be glad in the Lord and shall trust in him, and all the upright in heart shall glory. Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua. So we knowing that they constantly putting these things into place. We see it every day. They'll throw a distraction over here. They'll tell you something about a war. They'll tell you about the TikTok bill. They'll tell you about that Putin is warning this and that. All these things, the whole this is nothing but a stage. But one thing about it is a stage of who? Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua. We know that the stage is set. All things are ready. So one thing about it, hey man, you got to trust and believe in Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua, because things are getting ready to get very, very perilous. Things are getting ready to get very evil. An evil time that we have never seen. For evil, our only evil has come. So it's right upon us. So now let's look at Psalm. Let's go to Psalm 64 in the blue letter in the NLT. Let's get a little bit another version to bring out more edification. Let's go here. I already have it pulled up. Let's read this and make it a little more clarity here. It says Psalm 64 in the NLT. It said, hide me from the plots of this evil mob, from this gang of wrongdoers. Hey man, but I'm telling you, man, this Bible spot on. Verse 3, they sharpen their tongues like swords and aim their bitter words like arrows. That's what they're doing right now. Verse 4, they shoot from an ambush at the innocent, attacking suddenly and fiercely. So you already know they're going to have a sneak attack. That's why they got these sleeper cells in place. And one thing about, once again, we're not ignorant of Satan's device. That's what they're trying to do, and privately, and one thing about it, it's going to come like all of a sudden. Well, like a lot of people right now, eating and drinking, playing games, but the game's about to be over. Verse 5 said, they encourage each other to do evil and plan how to set their traps in secret. Who will even notice they acts? Hey, the Lord would notice you. The true men of the Lord would know you. The Lord is constantly making him bear and bear. His shameful spirit is upon his glory. So people are getting ready to find out who is this red devil. That's why all these nations are turning against what? Babylon the Great, the brick nation are constantly right. The heathens are raging to try to be the next superpower. Yeah, we've seen it happening right before our eyes. Verse 6 said, as they plot their crime, they say, we have devised the perfect plan. Yes, the human heart and mind are cunning. Verse 7 said, but the Almighty himself will shoot them with his arrows, suddenly striking them down. That's right. That's what the Lord getting ready to do. Verse 8, their own tongues will ruin them, and all who see them will shake their heads in scorn. That's right. He get ready to go down. Esau at the end of this word, Jacob at the beginning of it that followed, that transition power. Said, then everyone will be afraid. They will proclaim the mighty acts of Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua and realize all the amazing things he does. That's right. With great glory and great power. Verse 10 said, the godly will rejoice in the Lord and find shelter in him. And those who do what is right will praise him. Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua. So one thing about it, the Lord's getting ready to do a mighty work. All we got to do is stand still, and the Lord's going to do the rest. The Lord's getting ready to fight for us. Trust and believe in Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua. So now let's go here to 2nd Ezra chapter 15, because this is where we at right here. This is spot on. We go through it. We sound like a broken record, but hey, man, these are the times that we're living in. We have to bring it out. Keep not silent. Warn them day and night. That we're being a watchman for Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua. We're standing on our watch. We're standing on fire for Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua. Whether you were here or whether you will forbear, it is going down. And also, we know that this is a setup. 2nd Ezra chapter 15 and verse 15 said, for the sword and their destruction draw nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another with another and swords in their hands. So one thing about the modern day sword is what? The guns. So they already put it in place in 30 states, saying that the 18 and up that you can carry a concealed weapon without a permit or without even having any training. So what did this tell you? It's going to be what? Sedition among men. And also it's going to what? The sword and their destruction drawing near and near. The body count is getting ready to be great. Let's read this again. It said, 2 Samuel chapter 15 and verse 15 said, for the sword and their destruction draws nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hand. The modern day sword is the what? The gun, the concealed weapon, all sorts of weaponry. You know what I'm saying? Destruction, you know, also what? Death and destruction. That's what he want. Order out of chaos. Verse 16 said, for there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor prince, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. So you already know what happened in Pittsburgh just about a week ago. They said they're not gonna be answering certain 911 call. So pretty much you're gonna be on your own. So they're not gonna regard you. You're not gonna be regarding them. So it's gonna be a invading force. We already know that it's gonna be a lawless time. That's why they putting the gun in the citizen hand. Also, they're putting the gun in the migrants' hand. So can't you see how it's lining up? And also they're gonna have that invading force. What these UN's troops are coming in here. These Russia and China in collaboration with NATO, and also these migrants. So it's getting ready to be hell on earth. We're seeing it happening right before us. Insurrection, civil unrest. You know what I'm saying? Man, it's lawless time. Verse 17, a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able because of what? The checkpoints, because of what? The lockdowns. When all this time of trouble, they're going to call a lockdown. They're going to call a what? Some type of mandate and put up checkpoints in different areas on your streets, out there in your internet. I mean, on your out there on the freeways, the interstate. You don't understand what I'm saying? So all your major roadways will be blocked off, will be checkpoints with military men holding all sorts of weaponry. So we already know it come upon this time. We already know these FEMA camps also going to come into play. You know, these chipping stations, they're going to come into play. A lot of things are getting ready to happen. It's getting ready to be that lawless time. It's right before our eyes. So one thing about it, there, while you're sleeping, once again, the devil is constantly getting busy. And it's time to seek the Lord while he can be found. And also we already knowing that these guillotines are coming in place. So it's getting ready to be mass judgment coming upon this earth. The Lord's getting ready to destroy Babylon the Great off the face of the earth. Verse 18 said, for because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. Verse 19, a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword. That sword, that modern day sword, is what? Is the gun. Also, the sword goes into what? Judgment, and spoil their goods because the lack of bread and great tribulation. So, you know, you won't have any type of resource, no internet, no water, no place to stay, no clothing, no medication. You know, people going to be killing and being killed. Great desperation, great sorrow, the beginning of sorrow, mourning, persecution, you know, anguish. All these things are coming upon us at a fast pace. We've seen it. They constantly land these snares, these traps, and a lot of people gonna get caught up in it, and they will be what? Totally destroyed. 2 parts therein will be cut off and die. When you go to Zechariah chapter 13, verse 8 through 9, we're seeing it. It's happening right before our eyes. So now let's go here. Let's go here to Jeremiah, because this is exactly where we at. Jeremiah chapter 30. Jeremiah chapter 30. One moment. Jeremiah chapter 30. And verse 7, Jeremiah chapter 30 and verse 7. And it reads, at last, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. Who shall be saved out? What? The elect, the true believers of Yahweh, by Hashem Abishai, the so-called people of color, the Negroes, the Latinos, the Native Indian. I'm talking to you. And one thing about it's time to seek your true power while he can be found. Also, it's going to be a time that we have never seen before and never see ever again. So things are going to get bad, but the Lord is going to interrupt his enterprise. The Lord is getting ready to intervene on our behalf. The Lord is going to dispatch the archangel Michael. You know what I'm saying? He's going to stand up for the children of Israel, because the time is going to be off the chain, and the Lord is going to have to get up off his throne and come to deliver us with great glory and great power. So rejoice, ye heaven. So now let's go here to Mark. Let's go here to Mark chapter 13. We'll close out here. So we coming upon Jacob's trouble. It's very fast and close. We seeing how things are constantly lining up. Things are are wrapping up. We're here. You know what I'm saying? Hey, pray, be sober, and be vigilant. Hey man, we upon this time. Mark chapter 13. One moment. Mark chapter 13 And we'll start up at verse 19. This is where we'll close out at. Mark chapter 13 and verse 19 said, For in those days shall be affliction such as was not from the beginning of the creation, which the Almighty created unto this time, neither shall be. Verse 20 said, Except that the Lord has shortened those days, no flesh should be saved, but for the elect's sake, whom he has chosen, he has shortened the days. Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushua. So the Lord, he's getting ready to show up. You know, the Lord is going to have to come in on our behalf, because what? It will be no flesh saved alive. This man will kill everything that you know and see, including himself. That's why the Lord is going to shorten the time for the elect's sake, so we can be saved. You know what I'm saying? We're going to come back under that total subjection. We waiting on our Lord and Savior to deliver us, you know what I'm saying, with great glory and great power, immortality, rulership, spiritual power. It is at the door. So we seeing right here, it's going to be such affliction, you know what I'm saying, such tribulation. It's going to be like that you feel like you might not even make it out of here. That's why the Lord said the righteous shall be scarcely saved. So let's look at this in the before we close out. Let's go here to the blue letter. I just want to see what it says in the blue letter March in the NLT. Let's see how it reads. Then we'll close out. Let's see here. Mark chapter, what is that? Mark chapter, bear with me, y'all. Salakia. Mark chapter 13 and verse 19. Let's scroll down to it. Still learning this blue letter. Bear with me. Mark chapter 13 and verse 19. That's we're gonna read it all the way down. We're gonna close out. And it reads, Mark chapter 13 in the blue letter NLT, this version. And it says that, for there will be greater anguish in those days than at any time since the Almighty Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua created the world, and it will never be so again. Ooh, let's read that again. Mark 13 and 19 NLT. For there will be greater anguish in those days than at any time since the Almighty created the world, and it will never be so great again. Verse 20 says, in fact, unless the Lord shorten that time of calamity, not a single person will survive, but for the sake of his chosen ones, he has shortened those days. Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua. So you already see right there, won't be a single person will survive if the Lord don't step up. You know what I'm saying? And which in fact we know that he's going to step in on our behalf. The Lord is getting ready to return with great glory and great power. And also the Lord's getting ready to return and what? And set everything back into order. So the title of today's lesson, once again, is They Have Laid Snares or Traps Privately. So I'd like to give all praises and honor and glory to Yahweh by Hashem, Yahweh Shai by Hashem, Rikah Kwadash. I like to say, Shalom, Shalom.